Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about turrets, the newbie's guide to turrets, and how to kind of give you the basic operations. And with any luck, I will give you some examples of what you can and cannot do. Or what you should and should not do is more or less what I should say. Because there are certain etiquette and there are certain things that me being a mainly big ship pilot, I truly appreciate. But without further ado, let's get in the Cuddy Black, and I will get in once I get into space and in the turret. I will explain how to basically control the turret. Okay, so we are in our Cuddy Black. We're floating over Magda. This will give you a good idea of kind of what we kind of want to look for when it comes to our turret, basic turret controls. And some of them I will try to explain them, but they won't really make sense until I get someone to pilot the ship and I get in the turret to show you the difference. Some of them are some more advanced controls. I will touch on those, but I may not necessarily go in great detail. So first of all, you have to locate your your turrets. Now there's two kinds. There's remote and manned. Manned is when you actually get into the turret itself, like I'm going to here. And each turret layout will look a little different based on manufacturer. So be warned about that. But first of all, let's just get into the turret. And while this is happening, the second type of turret is a remote turret, where you sit at a console and you don't have a lot of all of this other stuff here. You don't have like radar and ship status, that kind of stuff. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to mouse around until you find the on or off. Decrease sensitivity, increase sensitivity, exit. Unfortunately, some of them can be a little more difficult than others to find. Power on. So you want to try and find power on. Sometimes you might have to look around for it. Other times, not so much. But this, now, with a man turret, and after I'm done this, I'll show you the difference between this and a remote turret. But a man turret, you know, you have anywhere between 1 and 4 MFDs, so you got like the ship status, so you could, in a roundabout way, kind of say, hey, pilot, you know, our shields are down on the front, be careful, etc. This one here, you also have another MFD here that has like your power output. You have your radar, you have your target, and comms. So you could effectively co-pilot from this seat, but that's not what you kind of want. So basically, same thing as our controls before. You know, left mouse button, go fires, drags it left and right, up and down. So now there's a couple different things you can do here. So see that little mouse that's kind of like you're doing with your ship? It's called the V-Joy. If we press Q, now it's called relative mode, where it's like when you're doing FPS, it stays up and down, left and right. It doesn't drag, right? When you move your mouse, you move your mouse. Press Q again, brings it to V-Joy mode, and you could do like you're piloting your ship. Right, you can move it around, up and down, just by dragging. So we press Q again to bring us back. Now, if we press G, we have gyro mode off. Generally, most man turrets have it on by default. So what's going to happen? And I will show this in the combat clip. When you're not in gyro mode, if the ship's moving, your turret moves with it. But if you're in gyro mode, your turret, as best it can, stays where it is so you can stay on target a little easier. Now, sometimes when you're in gyro mode, there's something called ESP. So ESP, it's kind of like an auto aim where it's going to try and put it towards the pip within reason, which can be good and bad. So like if the target's spiraling and whatever, you're going to want to deactivate ESP by pressing E. And that way there, wherever your crosshairs are aiming is where it's going to go. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Now, if ESP is active by pressing E again, it's going to attempt to kind of stick to that pip every so little bit. It's kind of like auto aim. And last but not least, you can slow the speed that your turret moves, or you can make it faster. So it all depends on what you want to do. If you're having, like, you know, you want to be super sniperish, you can turn it down and whatnot. That's with the mouse wheel, and that's highly important for if you're like if you're doing capital ship fighting, or if you're doing with small fighters, to be able to keep up with it. Now, you don't know where the front is. Someone says, hey, there's a target front. Hold C, and that recenters your turret to its default position. And last but not least, you can hit left shift and you can zoom in. So that way there, if you want to try and pick out a specific spot and you don't have ESP running, you can do that just as well. And then you just release left shift, and then there you go. So that covers the basics of it. Now, gyro mode and a few other things will be a little easier to give an example of in combat. So next time you see me, I'll be in the turret of this or another turret ship, and we will go from there. And one other thing, a couple of other things that I forgot. You can change the firing mode. So this right now is firing both at the same time, which means you're trying to put both rounds. So this is combined fire. What I can do is I can change it to staggered fire. So now one is firing at a time. So you half your DPS, but you hit with both guns, like with only one gun at the same time, but they're almost always firing. And that by default is B within the turret. You have to set that for ship staggered fire, but you hear the difference? That's combined. And it also says down here too, staggered, right? Now, you hear the difference? That's another neat little tidbit to note. Show you the difference between a remote turret and your standard turret. So I showed you the man turret before. I'm going to show the remote turret. So we power it on, and then obviously we're sitting at a console, right? So now what we need to do is we need to mouse over until we find enter remote turret. This one's a little touchy. So you see how now here with the remote turret, we don't have any, oops. We don't have any MFDs. We don't have any, like, we don't have any screens of any kind. Like, all we have is just as if we had a camera in between our weapon systems. So this is when you're going to need communication with your pilot to, you know, for names, ship, because when you target something, you'll just see the name. You know, names is the big thing, and then just work with them from there, because that's what we're going to have to do. And obviously, these ones, you know, like your gyro modes are, you know, active. Your relative for your mouse modes, they're all exactly the same. It's just one you sit in it, the other you're basically controlling it from a computer screen.
Okay.
There we go. All right, so I have my good friend here, Mr. SumgDruggles. He's going to be my pilot while we're doing this. And once he gets back, we will start. Why, welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Okay, so I guess we'll grab MRT, and then what we'll start with is just kind of showing the difference between the gyro and ungyroed modes, and then we'll pull let's just try to demonstrate what turret stuff looks like. Call to arms. Bounty hunter. HRT. Okay, and I'm sharing the MRT, sir.
Got it.
Okay, so we're gonna sort of turn our power on. Okay, so as you can see, we got our we're in our virtual joystick mode right now with the mouse. Pull with that pull. We're gonna hit Q, and now it's like we're doing FPS firing for a turret, which is how I like to do it when I'm doing mouse and keyboard. And so now, let's press G to disable gyro mode. So now, watch as, would you mind doing some zigzags, Bobby? There you go. So now it doesn't...
Definitely.
So see now, the turret stays with the ship. Now, if I press gyro mode, it doesn't matter how he moves, my turret will do its best to keep that vector and that target. So that's the difference. It's easy, like I said when I was explaining it, it's easier to demonstrate gyro mode and non-gyro mode. And yeah, so now let's head to our target, and then when we get there, we will I'll attempt to show you a little bit of shooty action from the turret. Oh yeah. So in your man turrets, you'll have all the target information, all that available. When you're running remote turrets, you won't have those options available to you. Just keep that in mind as one of the main differences. Okay, we're going. Okay, there you go. Angle, perfect. There you go. Keep rolling, perfect. That's great. Oh. There we go. Perfect. Oh, he's behind us. 3K out. We've got no angle. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I think I shot that missile out of the air.
Congratulations. Target is destroyed.
Alright, there we go.
And Esperia glaze. Alright, that's going first.
Yeah.
Send a lot of the bullets to get this guy. Ooh!
There you go. I think he's smashing through the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, on top. There you go. Got angle. Getting the shots in.
Shield system is
Ooh! He turns harder.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Target is destroyed.
Yeah!
Yay! Perfect. And he had some cargo on him too. Just one.
Oh,
box. Yeah.
let's go show why else a Cuddy could be good. I wonder if he has any cookies.